Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/entitledpeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Entitled Aunt Eats My Lunch. I'll start off by saying that my father's sister is the most entitled person I know. A bit of background. My entitled aunt is a nun, but seems to think having taken a vow of poverty means her family must now supply her with the things she can't get for herself. For as long as I can remember, she's turned up at my parents' house to spend her holidays there, where my mom is supposed to wait on her hand and foot because she is a guest. She has also demanded money and other material goods from my father, such as mobile phones. In the time of unbreakable Nokias, she demanded one from my father because another sister in her order had just been gifted one by her family and she wanted one too. She would also overstuff herself at every meal because according to her, she didn't get these things in her convent, and would use this as a justification for eating all the food in the house during her stays. Which brings me to the story. This happened a few years ago. I work Monday to Saturday, with Saturday usually being a half day, which inevitably it never is, and this was one of those days. I called my mom around 4:30 p.m. saying that I was done for the day and that I was coming home. My mom, being the kind soul she is, asked if I had lunch yet. I tell her that I have not. She tells me that the bananas that had been bought a few days ago were getting overripe, and that she would make some fritters with them. I get home an hour later to find a single fritter and a very pissed off mom. Because she knew I would not eat the entire batch of fritters, she had put them on the table for tea time. Entitled Aunt ate all of them, except for one. My mom had informed my dad and aunt that I was coming home and that I had not eaten all day and that she had made the fritters for me so that I would not have to starve until dinner, basically telling them not to eat them all. My mom was pissed because not only had she specifically stated this, but after she took the plate with the fritters away from the table, Entitled Aunt still stole more, with my mom only managing to save the one by hiding it and saying that they were gone. As usual, Entitled Aunt's logic for eating them all is that she doesn't get fritters at the convent. So, tired as F me, gets home at 5:30 p.m. and eats one single fritter and starved until dinner. I thought greed and gluttony were sins. This is one of those stories where, honestly, I don't really have much empathy, because if the family allows the aunt to act this way and be this way and constantly enables the entitled behavior, then it's equally as much the family's fault. Tell her no, for frick's sakes, or stop letting her come over. However, OP did make this update. So my family and I are no longer in direct contact with EA. I only saw her again last year for her Golden Jubilee. Yep, she's been a nun for 50 years. She's pulled enough bull with her convent to have 0 leave, so she's not allowed to leave whichever house she's assigned to, except for her job outside of the convent. Also, she's apparently mad with my father because she demanded money from him and he told her no. So, basically I'm free from her nonsense. Well, great googly moogly, thank goodness. They don't have to deal with her anymore. Cousin wants my grandma's house for free. My grandma is a wonderful woman and has helped out many of her grandkids over the years. When I was little, one cousin lived with her as my aunt went through a nasty divorce, so that my cousin would have a safe and supportive place to live. Another aunt had her husband leave her and needed to work full time, so my other cousin stayed with her after school for years. My own family lived with my grandparents for a year when my dad lost his job, and I lived with my grandma for a few months with my wife and new daughter after college until I got a real job. Some cousins have misused my grandma's generosity over the years, but she wasn't afraid to stand up at a point and say, enough is enough. You've had enough time to get your feet under you and get on your own. One cousin wanted to leave her small town for better opportunities, and grandma lived on the edge of a large urban area and let my cousin stay with her while searching for a good job. She found part-time work and seemed to enjoy having her own money and helped grandma around the house, to get to the store because grandma didn't like to drive anymore, go to the doctor, fixed a few things around the house, etc. She really was helping, but didn't keep growing. She didn't find more work or get school or training to make it on her own. My grandma's health has slowly been fading. She's in her 90s after all, and grandma's children decided that she was going to live with one of them until she needed either more care or passed. And at least one child can be there with her when that happens. To help pay for the possible specialty care, they are going to sell grandma's house. My cousin is pissed. She's been saying things like, "You can't take away my house," and "You're throwing me on the street." Her sisters tried reaching out to her, and it turns out she really thought that by fixing the fence and some other things, that the family would be grateful and let her just live in the house forever. The rest of the cousins are thinking, what makes you so special to get a 4-bedroom house all to yourself, and the rest of us get what for an inheritance? Now, I don't expect anything from my grandparents' will. I'm just upset that my cousin thinks she gets the whole house for nothing. My grandparents' will says to sell the house and split the money between the children. I also want to say that my dad and aunts gave her about 4 months notice that she will need to move, and are happy to let her take anything she needs to make her own house, kitchenwares, a bed, linens, etc. One aunt is even willing to help with the cost of the security deposit. But my cousin isn't packing. Family is now talking about changing the locks while my cousin is at work if she hasn't left by next month. I hope they check eviction laws before they change the locks, because even though it's not her house directly, if she has been living there for a while, she has tenant rights, and you can't just lock her out without a legal eviction notice. I would also suggest getting a legal bailiff to kick her out if she still refuses to leave after the proper eviction notice. I can't believe though that she just thought she could have the house because she's lived there and fixed a fence. With that logic, I should just go rent off somebody, fix up a few things, then claim the house as my own. Good grief. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed those 2 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!